Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where we did promise you 2 delicious desserts. So now we're ready to cook up recipe number 2. Heritage Day is just something that every family member looks forward to each year. From the hustle and bustle in the kitchen, preparing the meat for the bride, or the delicious favorite family meal that you know will always end with the appearance of South Africa's favorite dessert, a Milk Tart. Now, although Heritage Day may be different this year, with not all family members being able to gather around and enjoy a meal together, all is definitely not lost, because Jenny Morris is here and she's going to show us a great Milk Tart recipe that will take you back to those fond family memories and make you feel right at home no matter where you are. And that is what I'm here for. I'm already feeling that, you know, that warmth of family. I feel like I'm already in Durban. I'm not even in Durban. So when you do think of just these heritage recipes, and not only heritage recipes, but just where Milk Tart transports you to.
Oh, yeah, I do. I have a little bit of fear and nostalgia. Nostalgic fear, because I had a granddad who was an amazing baker. My father's mother was not a very good baker, but she did kind of do some baking. So what happened was he would call us every afternoon and say, "Suki, where's your shoes?" He'd make crumpets, but sometimes on a Sunday we would have Milk Tart that our Grandpa Bob had put together. And you know that Queen of Hearts who made some tarts all on a summer's day, and then the Knave of Hearts stole the tarts? Well, this little tart, what she did was, I scraped off the tart. I liked the custard. And I did, and I ate it. And you know what it's like, Tommy, when you're a child, you don't realize the extent of the damage that you're doing, because it's just so yummy, yummy, nice, nice, nice. And so you carry on and do it. And I really had a warm backside, because that grandmother didn't use a spoon, she used the small of her hand, but all that, I suppose it all ended well in the end, because I loved baking with Grandpa Bob, and he said, "Don't worry, my sweetheart, my little Suki, I will teach you how to make a Milk Tart." And he used to do it with, not with pastry, but he used to do it with a short crust pastry, so it was very biscuity. Ooh. Yes, and I didn't like doughy things in those days. That's why I did that custard. Oh my goodness, you just don't understand.
That is such a fond memory. I'm actually just imagining little Jenny running around with the little Milk Tart in her.
I wasn't so little.
But when you do think of baking with Grandpa Bob, you said.
Yes, Grandpa Bob Cannon.
I mean, I'm just sure that your heart melts.
I love him. I used to give that old man a hard time. He'd take me to the paddling pool, and I would be like on every ride, and he'd have to run after me and pay, because I just, you know, I was like a little Wild West show.
You do your own thing.
Oh, always. But he was just the most incredible person, and a lot of it, as much as my father cooked beautifully, that Grandpa Bob really instilled the love of cooking, because he also let me, I was young, you know, and he allowed me into the kitchen with him. So yeah.
What does that do for you?
You know what it does? I get sad sometimes when I see a naartjie, because I can just see, really, because I can see we had naartjie trees in his garden, and he used to pick it and open it and give you one little segment, one little cell, and say, "Put that on your tongue and let it burst." And he just taught me so much about food, you know. So Milk Tart has a very, very special place in my heart. Oh.
To me, as we just all gush listening to Jenny's stories, I mean, I feel like I was even part of the Morris family back then, you know, getting up to that mischief. And for yourself, Tumi?
My grandmother used to love baking, Palisa. I've mentioned this before. Utu Koko used to love making scones. She used to like making biscuits. And whenever she was baking, I was never too far off. I mean, that's why I think I became this little round little blob of cuteness that I am, because she would always just make sure she makes some extra for me, because she knew I loved her baking. I loved her scones specifically to this day. Whenever my mom and I and my family come together, we always say that no one has ever made a scone as deliciously as she did, because she used to use RAMA, Palisa, and I don't know what it is. You know, there's always talk about a secret ingredient. Yeah. I don't know what exactly she put in there, because I know she put RAMA, I know she put the flour and all those things, but there was just something about her scones. They were just so flaky and just not too sweet, but not too bland as well. Never dry. Okay. One thing was definitely sure is never those scones that you'd have and need to take 3 days to recover from. It's not one of those, Palisa. But yeah, just listening to Jenny talk about Grandpa Bob, I imagine Namu Koko Elizabeth and all her beautiful memories in the kitchen, Palisa.
I love the fact that you said that the secret ingredient in that recipe was the RAMA. Like, what I love about RAMA is that nothing beats undeniably delicious homemade baking with RAMA, and that's exactly what we're using in this recipe today. the conversation of inclusion, the conversation of being let into the kitchen at a very young age, for me, I get very inspired thinking about all of that. Not only do I get inspired because it essentially says that even the next generation can come up, and I think that also speaks so truly, not only to Heritage Day, not only to this Milk Tart recipe, but just the incredible versatility that RAMA also has as a product. I mean, getting everyone involved, this is exactly what it's all about. It adds that unique, undescribable, taste across a variety of applications, whether you are spreading it, whether you are topping it, cooking it, and in this case, baking.
Yes, definitely, Palisa. And I love the fact that in this instance, instead of putting it into the baked good, we're actually layering it up because I've put specks of RAMA in here so that it creates that beautiful steam. So in essence, the steam, the RAMA, and the puff pastry are working together just to give you a beautiful dish. And it actually reminds me a lot of my grandmother right now.
Well, my heart is definitely melting, and I'm so excited about that. Hopefully, my heart melts just like that RAMA, because at the end of the day, it is available in a tub and brick formats for your ready-to-enjoy convenience. And since we are celebrating all things Mzansi and South Africa, this is a brand that is just much loved by so many across the country. Truly generational, generational, generational goodness. And to get your hands on this delicious recipe, please do visit afternoonexpress.co.za and taste the love wherever you are. Now, don't forget, RAMA is giving away another grocery voucher to the value of 800 Rand. To stand a chance of winning this week's competition, tell us what your favorite heritage dish is on the Afternoon Express Show Facebook or Twitter pages with the hashtag RAMA Taste the Love. This week's competition closes at midday on Monday, the 27th of September. T's and C's apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
Wherever food is made with love, you'll find RAMA. Taste the love.